The air crackled with tension. The Senate Armed Services Committee convened on January 14, 2025, for a confirmation hearing like no other. At the center of the storm, Pete Hegseth, President-elect Donald Trump's nominee for Secretary of Defense. Hegseth, a former Fox News commentator and Army veteran, cut a controversial figure. His nomination ignited a firestorm of debate, raising profound questions about the future of the United States military and the very nature of civilian control over the armed forces. The hearing, broadcast live across the nation, became a must-watch event. Americans from all walks of life tuned in, eager to witness history unfold. The stakes could not have been higher. The Department of Defense, responsible for the security of the nation and the lives of millions of service members, stood at a crossroads. Hegseth's supporters, primarily Republicans, hailed him as a staunch patriot and a refreshing change from the Washington establishment. His detractors, largely Democrats, viewed him as dangerously unqualified and temperamentally unfit for such a critical role. The hearing promised to be a battle of ideologies, a clash between two vastly different visions for the future of American defense. The committee room buzzed with anticipation. Senators, their faces etched with gravity, took their seats. Journalists, their pens poised, prepared to chronicle every word. The weight of the moment settled over the room as Pete Hegseth, his expression a mixture of determination and defiance, approached the witness table. The nation held its breath. The hearing was about to begin. The future of the Department of Defense and perhaps the nation itself hung in the balance. Subscribe to the channel to win the battle. From the outset, Hegseth's qualifications emerged as a central point of contention. Democrats, led by Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, wasted no time in launching a blistering attack on his resume. They pointed to his lack of experience managing large, complex organizations. The Department of Defense, with its sprawling bureaucracy and multi-trillion-dollar budget, dwarfed anything Hegseth had encountered in his career. His tenure at Fox News, they argued, hardly prepared him for the intricacies of international diplomacy or the nuances of military strategy. Senator Warren, her voice sharp with concern, pressed Hegseth on his experience overseeing large budgets and managing complex logistical operations. She questioned his understanding of the intricacies of defense procurement and the challenges of maintaining military readiness in a rapidly changing geopolitical landscape. Hegseth, his demeanor calm but resolute, countered that his lack of traditional experience was an asset, not a liability. He argued that he would bring a fresh perspective to the Pentagon, unburdened by the stale thinking of the Washington establishment. Republicans rallied to Hegseth's defense. Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas, a decorated Army veteran, praised Hegseth's military service and his deep understanding of the challenges facing service members. He argued that Hegseth's experience as a Fox News commentator had honed his communication skills and his ability to articulate complex issues in a clear and concise manner. Hegseth, Cotton asserted, possessed the leadership qualities and the strategic vision necessary to lead the Department of Defense. The debate over Hegseth's qualifications highlighted a fundamental divide in American politics. Democrats, emphasizing experience and expertise, sought a seasoned hand at the helm of the Pentagon. Republicans, prioritizing ideology and a break from the status quo, embraced Hegseth's outsider status. The clash over Hegseth's qualifications was not merely about his resume, it reflected a deeper battle for the soul of American foreign policy. As the hearing progressed, a pall descended over the room. Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia, his voice measured but firm, broached a sensitive subject. Allegations of misconduct that had dogged Hegseth for years. Whispers of excessive drinking, adultery, and even sexual assault had circulated in Washington circles for years. These allegations, though never proven in a court of law, threatened to derail Hegseth's nomination. Senator Kaine, citing a 2017 sexual assault allegation that Hegseth had settled out of court, pressed the nominee for details. He demanded to know whether Hegseth had engaged in behavior that would disqualify him from holding one of the most powerful positions in the United States government. Hegseth, his face flushed, vehemently denied all allegations. He dismissed them as baseless smears and a coordinated attempt to destroy his reputation. Democrats, unconvinced by Hegseth's denials, demanded a thorough investigation into the allegations. They argued that the American people deserved to know the truth about the man who might one day command their sons and daughters in uniform. Republicans, circling the wagons, accused Democrats of engaging in a politically motivated witch hunt. They argued that the allegations, many of them anonymous and unsubstantiated, should not be allowed to overshadow Hegseth's qualifications and his commitment to national security. The allegations of misconduct cast a long shadow over the hearing, raising serious questions about Hegseth's character and fitness for office. The debate over these allegations underscored the importance of vetting high-level nominees and the need for transparency and accountability in government. The issue of women in combat, a topic that had long divided the military and the nation, took center stage as the hearing entered its second hour. Senator Tammy Duckworth of Illinois, a decorated Army veteran who lost both of her legs in Iraq, confronted Hegseth about his past statements opposing women in combat roles. She challenged him to reconcile his previous views with his current stance in support of women serving in all military occupational specialties. Hegseth, his tone measured, acknowledged that his views on women in combat had evolved over time. He insisted that he now fully supported women serving in any role for which they qualified, as long as standards were maintained. Duckworth, her voice laced with skepticism, questioned the sincerity of Hegseth's conversion. She accused him of changing his tune solely to appease critics and improve his chances of confirmation. The debate over Hegseth's stance on women in combat highlighted the evolving role of women in the military and the challenges of integrating women into all aspects of military service. Hegseth's shifting position on this issue raised questions about his willingness to adapt to changing social norms and his commitment to equality and inclusivity in the armed forces. Section 5, A Divided Committee, A Nation Divided Support and Opposition to Hegseth. Alright, let's dive into Hegseth's financial disclosures. These documents provide a detailed look at his assets, liabilities, and sources of income. They're crucial for understanding any potential conflicts of interest. Hegseth's disclosures reveal significant investments in defense contractors, which could raise questions about his impartiality. It's important to scrutinize these details to ensure transparency and integrity in the confirmation process. Now, considering Hegseth's wealth, we need to think about how it could impact his role at the Pentagon. His financial ties to defense contractors might influence his decision-making. This could lead to policies that benefit his investments rather than the public interest. It's a delicate balance, and the Senate will need to weigh these factors carefully during the confirmation hearings. Moving on, let's chart the course of Hegseth's nomination. The process begins with the president's formal nomination, followed by a series of Senate committee hearings. During these hearings, Hegseth will face tough questions about his qualifications, financial interests, and vision for the Pentagon. If he passes the committee stage, the full Senate will vote on his confirmation. Each step is critical and will be closely watched by both supporters and critics. Finally, let's discuss the implications of Hegseth's confirmation. If confirmed, Hegseth will play a pivotal role in shaping U.S. defense policy. His decisions could have far-reaching consequences for national security, military spending, and international relations. It's a position of immense responsibility, and his confirmation would mark a significant moment in the administration's approach to defense. The stakes are high, and the outcome will be a defining moment for the Pentagon and the country.